Hello, June 4th, 2025. Thinking about President Trump again. I had a great shower. I washed my hair. It's kind of getting hot here in Utah. The summer's upon us. And I get out and I check out Trump Tracker. And immediately, like 38 seconds ago, Trump's having a soirée at the White House. I couldn't believe it. So I watched it, heard his speech, and I want to make a video about him anyway, but it's just even more inspiring. So, kind of what's going on, okay? I was in a chat on, I listen on a couple chats on X, and people seem kind of bummed. I think everybody should be stoked because we are winning, winning, winning. But you need to look, I mean, we're on God's team, you know? Trump has been working himself, luckily not to death, but almost. He just works for the good of all of us. And so we should do some work too. And this Trump made this book, or it came out a couple years ago, Crippled America: How to Make America Great Again. It's practical things. We got to work locally. I know I've got a presence worldwide. I understand that. I have for 17 years, even a little bit more than 17 years. But it was pretty rough back in the day. I got banned from everything. And now I only have Cash App going. And so I should say this. Other people say it all the time, but hit the like button and subscribe because my subscribers have been stuck at 29,600 for like 5 years. So maybe it'll help break that out. I can't, but I just had a FaceTime from Elon and I just like was kind of shocked. So things were picking up for me. What can I say? He had some cool shades on. He looked good. And of course, Elon's in the news now talking about the big bill. But just on that one, real quick, I think Elon is extremely intelligent, and he's probably bummed about all the fat and pork still in the bill. But Elon is not a politician; he's a doer, and so those politicians, they stick their pork in there to pass it. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to pass, but maybe they'll take some of the pork out because that's the whole thing about Doge and getting the government right again. I've got a bunch of books here, but I'm going to keep it like this because I can't pick out my postage stamp on YouTube anymore. So I want it to be this. But I have Adam Smith, The Wealth of the Nations. I've got Free to Choose by Milton Friedman. And, in pure economics, there would be no tariffs. But most countries, they fib and they do things, and they've been, as President Trump said, taking advantage in a huge way of our country. And our country, I've learned some history from Trump, I have to admit, even though I think I know a lot, and I do know a lot, but some areas I don't. I didn't realize tariffs carried America in the 1880s and 1890s. And then the Federal Reserve comes in. Of course, I have Secrets of the Federal Reserve by Eustace Mullins. And, we can't have a prosperous country and world with central banks that skim off the top and create artificial expansions and depressions. They create them, okay? They created 1929. They even the bad guys that aren't white hats created, it was called the Panic of 1907. So then people were all upset. We need a savior. So what they do, the Federal Reserve on Christmas Eve, 24th of December 1913. But the Federal Reserve is not the answer. Now, I was taught at business school it's the answer. You're taught about John Maynard Keynes, the greatest economist. And I was a rebel, watching and reading Milton Friedman. And of course, Adam Smith is basic economics. But we need to fix America, and we shouldn't be sitting on our hands. We need to, I have to admit, I want to do a lot more, and I can do more locally. But como hablo español y también he visitado muchos lugares en el mundo, I have a worldwide audience. Like one time I went to Toronto, and this is when my parents, they were giving away the Jeep that they had on their farm. So they flew me out to a really swanky hotel there by Harbor Towers. They had a place at Harbor Towers and Pebble Beach and U.S. Virgin Islands. And they fly me there. They give me that thing, and they give me $500 to drive home. I was kind of really poor at the time, but I was grateful they gave me the car. I was persona non grata because the rest of my family I was major black sheep. Some of you may be able to identify with that. So I decided to drive to Toronto. I met one of my female fans, had a great time. Niagara Falls. She lived there. I'm going to keep her kind of secret, but she's a really, really cool chick and a nurse. And I went to Toronto and I saw the Marilyn Monroe building. I met some Sikh Muslims and my camera had broken. They bought me a brand new camera and they had a penthouse in Toronto and they took me to dinner at the best place. And I learned about Sikh Muslims. These people were so nice to me. You wouldn't believe it. And so I said, hey, I'll meet at a coffee shop in Toronto. I didn't, I don't know if it was Tim Hortons. It wasn't at Tim Hortons. I learned about Tim Hortons, no. And 10 people showed up. Dabu showed up, who's a Bitcoin billionaire now. Hey, Dabu, make a contribution. I only have Cash App. Dabu, if you want to Cash App me $10, I would be down for that. My Cash App is $ Brent J Long, just the initial J. $ Brent J Long. There's some people have given the widow. People have Cash App me in the past before I had everything. But the financial system, it's changing right now. I just don't talk about it because, Jamie Dimon, really, the bond market's going to crack? Jamie, you figured that out? I just wouldn't fit in Wall Street at all because I'm Team Trump. I'm not Team Biden. And I make no apologies for it. A great guy that lives in Colorado, a real patriot, gave me this hat. And I wore it to the Trump Hotel. It's great. And look at the side of it. Stop the steal. It's a great hat. So, I'm watching Trump. Look he's got all the young people, the new interns at a White House soirée. French word, right? Siri helped me spell it correctly. Trump's got all the young people there. The white hats are winning. The fake news is still fake, but patriots shouldn't be disheartened right now. You need to look at the big picture. This is God's plan. Sure, there's a Q plan, which is 100% real. I'm not military, but if you just use a little bit of IQ above 105, well, let's say probably over 117. If your IQ's over 117, the Q thing's obvious to you. If your IQ's a lot higher than that, then it's uber obvious. And my last video, if you can't realize that we're in a movie and that Biden falling down isn't really Biden, then you got problems. Okay, we got to fix America, so we got to participate. It's going to be really fun because I might be able to drink raw milk. In California, they put people in jail for even talking about raw milk, let alone drinking it or buying it. Things have changed. Okay, I don't want this to be in my, okay. Foreign Affairs, 75th anniversary of Foreign Affairs. Most people don't even know what it is. But back in the day, if you wanted to know what the deep state's plans were, you read Foreign Affairs. At least I did. But everybody thought, every president has to have a bunch of CFR guys in their cabinet because they know what's going on. They're Harvard and Yale and London School of Economics and all the fancy schools. But look at this. The world ahead, 75th anniversary, it has the white guy on the horse, Chatham House and all that kind of stuff. I could give 25 lectures on all this stuff, and I probably will end up doing that. And I'll play rock and roll, for instance. And I jump around, that's fine. Maybe I'm an autist. I'll be proud to be identified with those people. But if you listen to the Rolling Stones songs, Sympathy for the Devil, and listen to the words, let alone watch the video, it's a super catchy song, but the words are very haunting and disturbing. I shouted out, who, boom, boom, to Kennedys, after all, it was you and me. No, it wasn't Mick. I didn't want to help kill them. Anyway, and then it goes on and talks about the Romanov family and Anastasia screaming. It's a pretty brutal song, even though it's super catchy if you listen to it. So, Foreign Affairs 75th anniversary. Look who's the world ahead. One of the main writers is Zbigniew Brzezinski. When I was a millionaire, the people around me wanted me to follow Zbigniew Brzezinski. And yeah, I guess he had a book, Between Two Worlds. And I didn't. I decided to follow the Constitution and not Zbig. Peter F. Drucker, he was a famous. I'm busy right now, excuse me. And so Look at Samuel Huntington, George Keenan, Paul Krugman's writing here. Uh, Richard Pipes. Thanks, man. Arthur Schlesinger Jr., Anne Marie, Walter Wriston. So all these people write in foreign affairs, and I mean, look how out of touch with God's plan they are. The new population bomb. I mean, God said, multiply and replenish the earth. There's no population bomb. If you ever come to Utah, there's room for millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people. Now, if you just hang out in New York City and Boston, you might think the world's overcrowded, or Mexico City. But if you ever come out west, you'll like, there's so much open space, it'll blow your mind. Oh, look at this. Yeah, let Obama be Obama. It's a big new Brzezinski. They got Brzezinski again writing for foreign affairs. Anyway, Zbig, I know he was super bright and stuff like that, but I wasn't a fan. I didn't have his vision. I didn't share his vision. But 9/11 and after, the Afghan quagmire, no kidding, the next attack by William Perry, America and the Arabs. So these guys, Mexico's guest workers, they'd always think they had everything figured out and they would influence the presidents. Now this guy couldn't be bought. And many of you probably know, he didn't even take a salary to be, president of the United States. So you should be people that love truth. It's not about personalities. Now, if something happened to him, of course, it'd be devastating. And, it's a lot of subjects with Trump. But look what he stands for: the Constitution, freedom, making America great again. And those are things that we should stand for. And so we need to make America great again by doing stuff. And so I'm trying to I am taking care of my health and feeling much better because I'm growing a garden. I've got strawberries planted. Well, actually, I got to plant them. But I got my potatoes, they're growing. And potatoes, they were what kept Ireland going for a while until the Brits tried to screw them up with the potato famine. But that's a very sensitive subject for the Irish. But the Brits, they're kind of like, I don't want to go too deep here, but anyway, they thought they controlled the world, and they did for 1,000 years or more, but they don't anymore. And right now it's pretty dicey over there with NATO, and I cannot believe all the pressure that our president's under. But he still goes and had a great celebration. You got to watch it. It's very kind of short, but he comes out to the White House, and there's all these young people, and they're all excited. It's called the White House soirée. Okay. I'm excited, so I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but look at this book is great because it has practical things you can do at the state level. Of course, Trump's dealing at the national and international level, and at the local level. We have to have our local school boards to where they teach children good things like mathematics and important things to last their whole life, not stupid things so they sit on their bum and wait for their welfare check. Okay? Anyway, it's getting kind of hot here. We are winning. The white hats are winning. Okay? And the black hats aren't, so they're desperate. So stuff's going to happen. And it could be a rough summer and a rough fall. But you never give up. I never gave up, and I'm getting better and feeling better. And I know there's there's going to be new technologies, new healing technologies, and we'll have freedom to do what we want for our health. And God gave us great bodies to heal ourselves, and so more and more we'll be able to get what we want to get. Like, for instance, methylene blue is going to become more of it. A bunch of stuff like that. We're going to have freedom to get what we want for our own health, and not a bunch of guys dressed in white schmucks that say you got to get this, this, and this, and they know nothing about nutrition. Let's get healthy. Let's make America great again. I can't believe that Elon Musk FaceTime me. I put my iPhone on airplane mode right now, but things are hopping, and I hope to get back some time and hang out with more of the patriots. Right now, I'm kind of isolated in the desert, but it's been a good place for me to heal and buck up and get ready to make America great again. Thanks, President Trump. Thanks, everybody that has a good attitude right now. And if you don't have a good attitude, think about all your blessings. Think about how God feels. Of course, there's evil in the world. There's always going to be wickedness in the universe, always. So the thing is to get away from it. But if it's attacking you and won't let you be in and be free, then you've got to defend yourself. And the best defense is a strong offense. Let's make America great again. I'm just happy and in a good mood. And I'm grateful that there's men like him and all of you folks that are doing it. God bless America. God bless the USA. Yeah, if you want to donate to keep Man of Truth Alternative Media going and keep the iPhone on, I'm going to switch to the Tesla phone as soon as I find out about one, because my iPhone bill is ridiculous. And I think there's going to be some new phones that are going to be killer. So if you want to donate to Man of Truth, $ at Cash App, Brent J. Long. I'm banned from everything else, but with the new financial system, maybe I won't be banned. Maybe I could actually talk about Trump. I am now, and I'm not getting banned or shadow banned. Okay? Rock on. Ciao for now.